it look alright?
I don't know, I'm about to find out. And stabilised off our awning, the site manager.
Overworked and underpaid.
Picking up on short notice, we've got to hit the morning tide. We'll explain a little bit more. G'day, we're David and Paula. After 40 years, we took a gap year from work, bought a van and did a lap right around Australia. And it was life-changing. So now we're trying to rebalance life, work, the van travel in Australia that we love, and still ticking off some overseas bucket list items. Okay. Alright, here's your vehicle position to change. Short jockey wheels on deck C. So I've got to back it back up and unhitch. Unhitched. A, B, yeah, it'll do. Close enough for government work. Okay, got to rehitch. Won't show you that bit though.
Does it look alright?
I don't know, I'm about to find out. Okay. It's only telling me gross weights at the moment. It's well under GVM. Total caravan weight. This is with all the with 3360. So we're reasonably heavy. But we've got 140 kilograms. So that's for fuel. So that gives us a fair bit of room for the extra fuel that we want to carry. We're 120 kilograms underweight on the rear axle.
Woohoo!
We've got heaps to go on the tow board. Well, we're 260 kilograms. That's 8%. So that's not bad. That's probably about where you want to be as a minimum. But if I put 40 litres of fuel, but let's say 40 kilograms, let's say 50 kilograms, right, up there for that full weight, that'll take our tow ball mass to pretty close to 300. And our rear axle will still have room because we've got 1900, so because it'll be extra on the rear axle. Anyway, I'll talk about this a little bit later in the video, but unless I'm reading something wrong, that's actually pretty good. Full water, full fluids.
Yep.
Yeah. So full fuel in the car. So the fuel.
Yeah, the car's full.
Yeah, but
just the extra jerry cans.
The extra jerry cans. Yeah, but we've got enough room. But yeah, look, we're heavy enough at that 3360, which is sort of. I don't know that we can actually get anything more, but I mean the caravan was 40 kilograms heavier than we wanted it to be when we picked it up. So, all right. It'll do. Hey, g'day guys, just a quick one. You would have seen in the video and in the car, we were pleasantly surprised by our weights, and we are actually happy with the weights. I just wanted to clarify something. You might have picked it up, but through the process, I wasn't quite sure. It just looked too good to be true. You've just got to make sure that you remember, a bit quicker than I did, to add in your own weight onto the GVM and what that might mean for your rear axle. So it's always better if you've got a couple of people with you to try and replicate your weight in the front of the car. In our case, once you add in my weight, we're 20 kilograms under on GVM, so that's still good. We've got plenty of payload in the van, so we're very happy about that. We've got room to move on the ball. We've just got to remember that when we wanted to weigh without the extra fuel, because 90% of the trip is going to be without all of that extra fuel, but for the one leg, the gun barrel, that's if it's open, we're going to need to carry a fair bit of extra fuel. So we needed to see what that payload looked like. When I put some extra fuel in, anywhere between 50 to probably 80 litres there, about 50 litres on the front. I've just got to take into account what that's going to do onto the ball and onto the GVM. But overall, very, very happy. The go away process, really easy. There's no excuse for people not to weigh. We would have liked to have done a more professional weigh, had a look at the cross balance and all of those sorts of things. A couple of the other owners who've weighed, everything seems to be pretty well balanced up in the van. Doing what we did was still better than having the uncertainty of not weighing. And I hope you enjoyed the fact that we actually stepped through the process so you could actually see how easy it is. Anyway, give us your comments on the weights and how your own weights are going down in the comments. But we just thought it was just that worth clarifying. Pleasantly surprised. We thought that we were going to be overweight, and that's actually part of the reason why I was so surprised. To be so far under. We weren't so far under. We're 20 kilograms under on GVM. Everything else is actually looking pretty good. So great process, and hope you don't mind the extra clarification. And on that note, we're heading out on a new shakedown for the van. So we'll keep you posted on how we're going. We're testing the new solar and testing a range of other things that we've done on the van. Said I couldn't put my drone up.
Oh, you puppy. What you doing, Dave?
Deflating the tyres.
What you gonna deflate them to?
22 on the front and 26 on the back. It's getting a bit late.
Yeah.
We've got to catch the tidal window.
Yep.
We're a bit late in the afternoon.
See, I'm doing all the work.
It's the producer.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. Say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high.
Hey, g'day. The conditions are fantastic. Late in the afternoon, it was a late tide and we were late as well, but we've got heaps of room, so we'll go and find ourselves a campsite and then we better book it. So we will book it, it's just that we didn't know where we were going, so we'll get that all sorted out. But anyway, it's absolutely beautiful, and We had a sea eagle stalking our drone. Battery was just running out anyway, so it was time to pull it in, but he was eyeing it off. Anyway, we'll go and find camp, and we'll see you once we are all set up. Thanks for all the suggestions for coffee machines and grinders. Look, in the end we decided we couldn't do better than the Breville Bambino Plus that we've got, so we're going to keep that, and we're actually going to keep our current grinder. We'll just put it underneath in the storage and grind a bit more each time we use it every few days, rather than keeping it up in the van. Yeah, we were in one of our happy places. See if you can guess before I tell you. If it wasn't for this wind, it'd be a beautiful morning. We're getting to complete the shakedown now of the rig with all the mods, with all the fixes. Hopefully that's all of them. See how they actually perform now. This is sort of something that we're actually supposed to do a little bit earlier, but anyway, I'm not going to go over all that. We're in a happy space. It's windy here, so it's going to be interesting to see how we go over the next day or so. We're going to stay here and settle in just for a couple of days, just for a few days actually, off grid, see how all the systems are performing, just get a good feel for what our power usage is. We'll share all that with you, some of the other mods, just a couple of other little things that we're actually doing to personalise everything for ourselves. We came in on the ferry. We were originally going to come down the freshwater track. We just ran out of time. It was just a busy day. There's been a fair bit going on. I had to replace a windscreen in the car. I've had some dental work. That was really just part of that preparation process that we always do before a big trip, just making sure that, you know, all the health and everything's ticked off. I can see something fairly big up the beach. There's quite a few dog tracks around, so we don't know if there's some dingoes in the area or if there's just some wild dogs. I won't show you on the camera because it's just too far away. We'd hear a few things moving around in the night. It was mostly wind, of course, and those palm trees flap around and carry on. One of the jobs was to test the solar configuration and see which portable panels we wanted to take on the big trip. Our iTech World 200 watt solar blanket, slightly lighter and more flexible, or two 160 watt EcoFlow panels, which we can either use together in parallel or separately. First up, the iTech World blanket. Look, we've actually loved it. It's been very good for us. The shade did kill it, so the shading of the clouds did sort of kill it off. Look, it made a pretty good effort. Yeah, not a bad blanket. The new top panels are great. They work pretty consistently through the different shades, and by just after lunchtime we were fully charged. The next day the conditions were poorer, but the performance of the EcoFlow panels in parallel was noticeably better during the morning than the iTech World blanket, even getting up to its full rated output at one stage. First up, the 300 watts of solar panel was inputting up to 20 amps, the same as the top panels in that early morning sun. The top panels, once the sun got up, were very good. We're getting up to 40 and 55 amps on each of the days. So wait for power output. The two EcoFlow panels wind will take those with us, and we're really glad we got the extra solar controller installed. So we're very happy now with how we've got the solar set up. That's a tick. The Starlink Mini with the Cowfish 12-volt mini integration worked really well. Really pleased with. We might actually cover this a little bit separately because we're also looking at a car installation. All right, couple of little jobs done. We had to change the gas bottle connector to the LCC27, the new, because we had an old bayonet fitting on it, and they've changed over, of course, the connections on the LPG gas bottles. In many bottles you can still use the old POL ones, but anyway, we've just changed the cable over, so that was an easy job. Just changed the connector over. and we've put the new EasyQ hot plate on, so we're about to cook up some sausages for the evenings. And we also have stabilised off our awning, the Fiamma. Yep, we know guys, we know a lot of you don't like the Fiamma awnings. It just is what it is, because you can't brace them off the side of these vans. So what we've done is got a couple of these tie gear, whatever you want to call them, tie off things that go into the sail track of this van. And that means that we can still use our, what are these called, Paula?
Straps?
No, they've got a name, special name.
Special name?
Yeah.
Yellow strap.
The yellow straps, Paula said. Yeah, but anyway, the same ones that we're using. I'll put it up there. We've been out in the sun and we've had a touch of sun today. But the other thing I did is got some very lightweight tent poles, some carbon fibre tent poles, and I've drilled a couple of holes into the outside part of the awning, just to provide a little bit of extra stability to these Fiamma awnings. So it's actually pretty stable. It still flaps a little bit. We've got a curved rafter. Yeah, it's not bouncing around as much, is it? No. So we've got a curved rafter for there, but we might actually have a look to see if we can put either two rafters in or just replace that curved rafter. The site manager,
Yep.
The site manager and the executive producer.
Overworked and underpaid.
Ground dogs. They're called ground dogs.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, ground dogs. So we've had these and we really like them, but we were just a bit iffy about using those. We've got a couple of other tie gears, so we may still use that for the sail track up here. Very windy here. Even pulling the awning out, even though we've moved the van and we're across the wind a little bit more, we wanted to test all this out. I've just noticed that there's a distinct curve to the awning. That's not so bad if it needs to drain. One of the problems with these awnings that people report is that they can pool. So that's one of the reasons why we're going to use a curved rafter. We've got a very heavy slope on this one, so we'll see how it all goes. But much sturdier with these extra poles. Anyway, I think it's either gin o'clock or beer o'clock or wine o'clock. The sun's starting to... Oh, we're picking up on short notice. We've got to hit the morning tide. We'll explain a little bit more as we go, but I'd better do some vehicle checks just so I never take that for granted. The car's been showing a low battery warning. Now we have it's good. We have an isolator, like an ignition switch on the Anderson plug to the van, so that shouldn't be a problem. But I've always just suspected that little things happen, like you open the car up and you get just little draws in through the trailer plug, and it might be that. It's been sitting here for a few days. We've been parked up, so it'll be fine. It'll sort of start up, but just batteries. If it drops just below the optimum voltage, of course, it just gives us that warning and says to start up. So it's not actually a problem, but you never ever want to have a flat battery. We do actually have a jump start suitable for the vehicle. So. G'day. It's windy. We've left a bit early. we'll explain it all a little bit later, but there's an opportunity for the guys just to have a look at the van as part of their getting their production process right. So that means that for newer people buying an Expo, and we know there's a few people who've been contacting us, the things that they can address in production in terms of quality and those sorts of things, and build and manufacturing process, they're going to try and have a look at. So we'll always happy to do that. Lovely day when you're sitting inside the car. it's blowy.
G'day.
Not a bad campsite.
No, it's a good campsite. In Zone 3. It was very windy.
Oh, it was
extremely windy.
Yeah, it was. We ended up having to park across the wind. Yeah, we got rain. So we got to test a few different things. We had plenty of power.
Yeah, the solar's doing really well.
Yeah.
We're really pleased.
Yeah. So I don't think we skimped on anything, did we?
No.
And we had the Starlink going the whole time. So it is the Starlink Mini integration, so 12 volt. So the whole idea is for that not to draw too much. I think my hat's all on crooked again. Anyway, so I'll concentrate on the beach now.
We've got to get off the beach first. Once we've done that, we're airing up. Then we're going to the dump point, get rid of our rubbish and stuff. And then we'll go to the undercarriage wash and make sure just there's no salt and stuff left in the undercarriage of the car.
They have a good wash point at Noosa North Shore.
Yeah.
So we'll go and do all that, and then we'll head down to Zone.
Catch you later.
Again, thanks for joining us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, 100% of our YouTube advertising revenue goes to charity.